Today we're going to talk about the difference between continents, countries, and states. Right here you can see the globe of the Earth. Here is a big, large land mass, right? Here's the water, here's the land. This land mass is a continent. It is called North America. Okay? Every time you see a big glob of land like that, that is going to be called a continent. This is the continent of South America. See how they're connected by Central America right here? That's why this is north, because it's up top, and this is south, because it's down below. If we move over, this is the continent of Africa. This is the continent of Europe. This is the continent of Asia. And down here, we have Australia. At the very, very bottom, we have what's called Antarctica. That's where the penguins live. That's also known as the South Pole. The North Pole is not actually a continent. It's just a bunch of ice. And the North Pole, see how you can't see any land there? That's because it's not a continent. That's where our polar bears live. But they don't actually live on land. They just live on ice. So North America is where we live. North America is the continent in which we live, and then there are countries inside of that continent. So we've split up the continent into different pieces. There's the United States, there's Canada, there's Mexico, and down below is Central America. So countries are the pieces that make up the continents. We live in the United States. Now, the United States has its own pieces as well called states. There are different states inside of the United States. As you can see by these dotted lines, you can see the different states. Here's the dotted line that shows the outline of Texas. Here's the outline of Florida. Here's the outline of Utah. Here's the outline of Washington, California, etc., etc. So we have continents, which is the big landmass in the ocean, the country, which is the government, the political puzzle piece of that continent, and then the states that make up the country. Okay, do you remember which continent you live in? Do you remember which country you live in? And do you remember which state you live in? Okay, so a continent has countries and states. A country doesn't have a continent, but it has a state. And a state doesn't have a continent or a country. It's just a state. All right? Let's see if we can remember that as we work through our lesson today.